it travels in through the lungs, and then it joins our food molecules in the blood. Those are the two things that we need for this special process over here. These are food molecules, oxygen, traveling through the blood. You need food molecules and oxygen in every single cell in your body. Every cell in your body needs oxygen and food molecules, specifically glucose. So let's label this food molecule as glucose. So we need both of these to go into our cells. Why? Why does all the cells in your body need oxygen and food? Well, that is how we make energy through a process that you read about on Monday called cellular respiration. If you jump down here, this is our equation for cellular respiration. So I already told you, we know that oxygen from your lungs and glucose from your small intestine traveling through the blood, your cell needs those to make energy. So we know oxygen is one of them, and we know glucose. That's it. Those are the two things you need. If your cells in your body have these two things, oxygen and glucose, we can make energy that way. I'm going to put that over here. This is the most important thing about cellular respiration. This is why we do it, is to make energy. In the process of doing it, when we take oxygen and glucose, those molecules, and we rearrange them to make other things, to make energy, sometimes you get things that are kind of just left over. One of them is water. Water is kind of a leftover piece of cellular respiration. The other leftover piece we figured out during our BTB investigation, when you took a straw and you blew bubbles into our blue liquid and it changed colors. And I proved to you with the fizzy water that meant if it changed colors, there's carbon dioxide present. So we figured out that somehow in this process of our cells, our body is breathing out carbon dioxide. This is where that carbon dioxide is coming from. Carbon dioxide we can call CO2 to make it shorter. CO2 is waste. Our bodies don't want carbon dioxide. It's something that happens. We make it when we do this process to get energy. But if there is too much carbon dioxide in your body, it actually makes us sick. So we need a way to get rid of it. The best way to get rid of something in your body that you don't want is to put it back into your blood, because the blood circulates the whole body and it can transport it somewhere else where we can get rid of it. So let's write here, carbon dioxide is waste. We don't want it. So the way that we get rid of it, we put it back into the blood. It circulates through the blood. We're going back through our system. That doesn't look like an arrow. Okay. It is going back through the same cycle that oxygen was in. So in your blood at all times, there is food molecules, there is oxygen, and there's carbon dioxide. The oxygen and the food molecules we want, because that goes to your cells for this. The carbon dioxide We make that, but we don't want that. So it goes back into the blood and circulates through. And then we know from our investigation that your carbon dioxide, once it gets to this point, it can go back out. So once the blood that has carbon dioxide in it touches the lungs, the carbon dioxide can go into the lungs, and then we breathe it out. When you go like, there's carbon dioxide there. And we know that from when we blew into the straw. That is called an exhale. This is how we get rid of the waste. This is what we want. These food molecules, that's what we want. This is the waste. Okay. We put this all on one screen. Okay. Now, let's go through quickly the body systems. I'm going to change colors so you can see what so you can see what I'm doing better. But if you don't have another color, totally fine. So this one we know the best. This one we represented up here. We talked about it the most with McKenna. This is the digestive system. And I'm boxing all of my labels so that they're super clear. But if you want to use a highlighter or a different color or some other system, whatever makes most sense to you. This whole thing over here is your digestive system. Okay. Your lungs, when we breathe in and out, we know that is your respiratory system. I really hope I'm not spelling anything wrong. That would be embarrassing. You can call me out on it in class if I am. This is your respiratory system. Digestive system down here. The cells in your body, there's cells everywhere in your body. Cellular respiration does not happen in only one place. Every single cell in your body needs to make energy. This is your whole body, okay? The way that we transport everything, all of the molecules that we need, is the blood. That is your circulatory system. Okay. There's one more thing that I wanted to talk about on these notes. When we did our fat burning lab, we looked at a very similar equation to this. We saw that if you burn fat, instead of using the glucose, if you burn fat that's been stored in your body, we can also get energy that way. So if we go back up here for a second, this big molecule of fat is getting broken down into fatty acids. Some of this is going this way through the small intestine. It gets absorbed and we use it right away. Some of it we don't use right away. Some of it can go into storage. When I say storage, that means we're holding on to it for later. So, to get energy, you can either follow this equation from glucose from your digestive system, or we can use fat storage in our bodies and go through the same process. Okay? So there's two ways that you can get energy, two main ways. The first is cellular respiration. And this is directly from food that we eat, right? This is one way to get energy. Another way you can get energy is by burning fat. If you burn fat, you still make carbon dioxide and you still need oxygen. But this is a system for if your body is not getting enough food molecules. In the case of McKenna, we saw that her villi were very small. So she may only have some of these blocks. Maybe she has 2 instead of 6. So when this circulates through her system, her cells aren't getting enough of this glucose here. So instead of using this glucose because there's not enough for the energy she needs, she may be relying on more fat storage from up here. Some of this fat goes through the small intestine. Some of it we store for later. Those are the 2 ways we can get energy in our bodies. Okay?